Wow. Sorry about this. We're getting there.
Should I set this one up too?
Yeah, that one's gonna be the one that's,
In the bar.
the one that starts with a T.
Okay.
What are people saying things?
Constitution said in the bar, lol. I wish we were at the bar.
Ah.
We're just in the hotel. Alrighty.
Alright. Almost there. Dude, Altitude, thank you for selling that other battery. You're the man.
Okay.
Alright, so let's see.
Where's
see
this one
everything's
going?
set up.
In the crock.
Yeah, I mean, you can put it like
Where's the other crock?
that on the floor here. There you go. Alright, and then here, so I sit down. Let's see how we're looking.
Wish it could have been more, Altitude said.
Oh, it's all good, dude. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. That's amazing. I was scared I was gonna have to throw them away or throw them in a hiker box or something, so that's way better. So yeah, we just kind of realized.
You gotta move over here.
Okay. All right, and then.
I'll sit behind you like a
yeah,
freak.
we can do this. We can do this. Okay, so I think we're on all of them. So.
I cannot read a single thing that.
Oh yeah, let's see. Keep going. We're telling more viewers to know you're live. So anyway, we are in Lone Pine, California, and it's been like 2 months since we've live streamed. First, I want to go on a little soliloquy. It's been nice being out here for 2 months. Man, I miss the Starlink. If I'm honest, like it was literally breaking my back in half, so I don't miss that aspect. And even now, it's like entering the Sierra, it's like you add a couple more layers, like a little bit more clothing, some snow safety gear, like we have some traction devices for the passes, which makes our packs heavier. And of course, we now have bear canisters, which weigh like 3 pounds by themselves or something like that too. So pack would have been heavy. My backpack itself is also breaking. I emailed the backpack company and they're like, oh, that's not good. We'll just send you out a free, like they need to send me a whole new like shoulder strap harness. So that's scary for we're about to go into another 7-night section or so. So that is interesting. But anyway, it's a little bit of a bummer just because, I don't know. I feel like the live stream was fun. It gave us like every day we're like, oh, we got to get to camp. And live stream, it was kind of a cool like purpose like to our thru hike, which was pretty cool. Let's see though. Positives though, man, we've been hiking a lot later like during the day, and that's been nice. We get some, those late afternoon shadows, and it cools down and less pressure for like where we're gonna be. Are there gonna be other hikers around? Can we live stream? Will we be able to have good service, etc., etc., etc.?
I'm gonna move this bench over here.
Oh,
I think.
you need help?
No, you keep yapping.
So that's a positive. Like we've been able to, we've definitely been doing more miles. We've been doing like 20s and stuff, which we really weren't doing before because the physical challenge. So because we were trying to do it every day at 6. But I gotta be honest, I'm a little bummed. I kind of wish I still had the, and it's absurd. I mean, my backpack's still fairly absurd, but now it kind of almost just like it looks more absurd than it is. Like it's just so enormous. A lot of it on the ultralight scene is just like sometimes it's almost like this Tetris puzzle for people. They're like making their sleeping pad as tightly rolled as they possibly can. You like organize the food so that like now the hip thing that I've seen the kids doing is they keep their food in their backpack like normal, but then they strap the empty bear can onto the top of their pack, which I guess in theory, like every night, they're moving the food bag from their backpack into the bear canister. Which it's whatever. I am very curious though, like how a ranger would like react to that. I don't think they'd be like the biggest fan really. And I think it's kind of just funny though. But
yeah, I feel like if you're gonna carry the bear can, just like use the bear can.
Yeah.
Is my thought, but
But to be fair too, like the what was I trying to say? A lot of really, like, if you're way super ultralight and you do add the weight, like we were talking about, like, 'cause you need extra weight for the Sierras, just gets colder, and you have more snow conditions. Like it kind of like some of those really light backpacks really get sensitive, like if you go over a certain weight. So I can kind of understand that. Like you want to put it at the top. Messes with you, but I agree with you. Let's see.
The melt has been in your favor.
Yeah. So I've been super lucky. This is actually my third time through the Sierra, and I've always wondered what it's like without snow. And I'm kind of getting that. Like we did have, like let's see, we've done so many things. We climbed the highest peak in the lower 48, and there was like, well, first of all, it was funny because there was like we encountered one snow section, the first one we encountered that was like maybe 50 yards long. And like there was a group of people we saw that were putting on their micro spikes and stuff, but it literally there was like zero exposure.
It was like you could see the dirt.
It was a clear path.
Yeah.
It really wasn't even that slippery. And it was like flat.
I don't think it was 50 yards. It was like maybe 50 feet. Like it wasn't. It was.
But and then they turned around too. But that made me think, oh man, if they're turning around on that and they're like, oh, the snow is bad. Like man, Forester Pass is insane for them, and there's not really any other bailouts. But I think that'll be good for them to like learn, though. They can overcome their fear and stuff. It's not really like it's easy enough, I think, conditions right now to where I don't know, you can be with close to zero skill and you'll still probably thrive out there.
Yeah.
At least Forester. I don't know. I always remember Glen Pass as which is the next pass we do being the scariest, because you go over it like, and then it's like really steep on the north side, like a really steep descent, and it's quite exposed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like scary looking kind of. But like I saw some people like freak out and like fall and like use their ice axe, but they fell like really slowly, and they really just kind of let the nerves get to them, But
Gotcha.
we'll just put on our micro spikes,
Yeah.
and we'll be fine there. But yeah, melt has definitely been in our favor. Whitney was really cool. Any comments on Whitney?
Whitney felt like the longest day on trail for me so far, just in terms of like it was like only 15 miles or something, but it was like a really long 15 miles.
Why was it so long?
I mean, I feel like the climb up just took a while, like because you are what is it, like 6,000 feet of gain or something?
4,000, I think 45. I don't know what it is, 4,500
Yeah,
maybe.
it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Like the altitude it's quite hard to like go that quickly into like that.
Oh, I agree. That hike was we were so slow. It
Yeah.
crushed me a little bit too.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my god.
Like not particularly challenging or technical, but just like I think the elevation is what made it hard. And then the cold. I don't know. I really struggle to be cold. So the section is testing me in that capacity. But I think it's really like I don't like being cold by itself, but it's like the combination of being hot and cold at the same time. Like when you're hiking because you're sweaty, but you're also cold because there's wind. Like that feeling, I'm just like I hate that feeling so much, and that's like basically what this section
I know.
is.
It's so tough because I feel like you want to hike with like a little bit of a chill, because then you don't sweat as much.
Yeah.
But I always thought that was funny. Like there's this huge like thing out there of like never sweat when you go out in the winter. You know what I mean? And it's like, man, I sweat like hell.
Yeah.
There's no sweating.
That's not.
But
that's like literally not
but there are other ways to like prevent. But it sucks if you go too many clothes though, because then if your layers start sweating, and then you get cold. I get what you're saying there. Did we start early on Whitney? No, we started at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
I don't know. Everybody's doing like they're like, oh, let's get up there for sunrise.
I would have absolutely hated that. I think.
But yeah, we hiked it like on the solstice day, so the 21st, like the longest day of the year. So we calculated it and we're like, we're good. There's no need to wake up at 1 a.m. It's kind of similar to when we saw you on the aqueduct. Like almost everybody was going at night. Even the other two girls that you dropped off that were with us, they were like, they took a break at that first little water fountain, and the water fountain is just like in the corner of some people's yard. I think they're just being nice. They kind of put there's a couple trees there, and they put just like a little tiny bench and like a water fountain that dispenses like 100-degree water. I'm not complaining, but it's quite warm, very warm water. But we actually didn't regret that either. It was kind of hot. It was quite hot doing the aqueduct in the middle of the day, but
It was doable. Yeah.
yeah, and everybody else was like all messed up. Like they were like,
their sleep schedule was like.
yeah, their
messed
sleep
up.
schedule was crazy, and I'm glad we didn't camp in that area either, because there was just tons and tons and tons of ATV tracks and broken glass and stuff, and we saw like somebody pass us going like 85 and like a Mustang on like this rough part of the
just
road.
random dirt road.
But anyway, that's fine. I mean, people are gonna do what they're gonna do, and that's cool. But
no regrets.
no
doing
regrets,
The
yeah.
aqueduct during the day. No regrets doing Whitney during the day. I
Dude.
would have been so cold going up. At 1 a.m. Like I would have been absolutely miserable. Like
Yeah.
I really like wasn't feeling it anyway. But then like.
But we got super lucky though, because we were up there. Like there was it was a Saturday. There were a ton of people up there when we first got there, but then they all left. We didn't even hang out that long. It wasn't like we were
Yeah.
hanging out for hours. We were there for maybe half an hour at the top, and it was quite cool.
Nice. I hate the sunrise thing. Yeah, we didn't do that. Hey Sabrina, what's up?
To be fair, last time I did do sunrise, Whitney, and dude, there was way more snow, and I can totally relate to what you're saying. It was so cold, and I like sweat through my layers. I just remember it was like so
It's
freezing, but
just
I was
so
like, I can't put on another layer because I'm
Yeah.
gonna sweat through it, and like, yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But
Whitney was like beautiful, like
yeah,
some of the most beautiful scenery because you can see all these alpine lakes and you walk by them and then you see them from above and yeah, like some of them have completely melted, some of them are still thawing, so it's like this cool eye between like
Yeah.
ice and full lake and
yeah.
it's very cool. I saw 2 pika on the way up, which was really cute. That's my first time seeing pika. Pika are these little mice animals that are like
Yeah, they're like kind of
gray
like
hamsters.
fat mice
Yeah,
hamsters
and they
with
have,
big ears.
like, round ears, and they squeak, and they're so cute. And then we've seen a lot of marmots, and I really like the marmots. They remind me of like a cat. They're very cat-like in the way that they move, maybe. But
Yeah, marmots
they
are
like
cool.
fluffy tails. They're cute.
Fun fact: the only time I've ever used bear spray was on a marmot. So I had a tent set up in Colorado, like a trekking pole tent, and the freaking thing, and it was a tent where the pole, like the tips go up. So like most animals are interested in the handles because they get the sweat on them and have the salt on them and stuff. But this marmot like would not get away, and I'm like trying to sleep in my tent. So this marmot is just kind of going crazy, like chewing on the pole, and then I freaking sprayed him with bear spray. He would not go away. And then even the bear spray, he went away for like 20 minutes, and I was like, oh, thank God. I go back to sleep. He comes right back after like 20 minutes, though. 25 minutes is the only bear spray. Oh my God. That sucked.
Yeah.
I have had the worst animal, like, I've had weird animal encounters that I've talked about before, but like that one with the marmot, because I couldn't get any sleep and the thing was just destroying my pole and there really wasn't that much I could do. And then, because I was kind of like above tree line, so there wasn't really like good trees to tie, instead of like I was thinking about, can I take down the, you know what I mean? I don't know. And it was mosquitoes, so I didn't really want a cowboy camp. And then there was there's been porcupines a couple of times that just would not go away. One just kept trying to like come into my vestibule and like eat all my stuff, and I like put it away and like kept coming back, and it made these weird noises like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Porcupines are so funny
Ah,
because they're like territorial and they'll just like circle you.
well, they're so confident in their freaking defense mechanism, They're like,
Yeah.
they know they can like quill you, so they don't care. They're just like,
Yeah.
oh, whatever.
We slept, I think it was in Pennsylvania somewhere on the AT, and there we slept at where Porcupine was living, and it just like walked in circles around our camp all night long.
Oh, really?
It just did like loops and loops.
Yeah, and I had another one that was kind of going up to my car, and they'll eat brake lines and stuff. Like, people even some places, they'll put like chicken wire around their car if they leave for like a few day backpacking trip. Supposedly, or they recommend it, which I mean, I've never done, but I have heard stories of them, like, they'll bite through your brake lines, which is absolutely insane. Yeah. But anyway, we also had mosquitoes. We've had 2 times when mosquitoes were bad, and that the first time was a couple nights out of Kennedy Meadows. We were kind of just in this random site. It was funny. We saw a ranger. He was exhausted every time we saw him. I felt bad for him. He seemed like a cool guy.
He's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, he was really nice, but he was just exhausted. I was like, oh my god, I can't imagine starting that job, like having to go do high Sierra trails at like 10,000 feet and not be. I don't know, who knows? Maybe he's coming from sea level or something. Not trying to be disrespectful to him, but he was a cool guy, but he was just exhausted. But anyway, we saw him, and then we're like, all right, let's go camp off trail. So we found a spot that was like reasonably level, but oh my god, we got destroyed by mosquitoes there. But then it was even worse when we're coming up. There's like an area you can camp at the bottom of Mount Whitney, on the west side called Crabtree Meadows or Crabtree Ranger Station.
Yeah.
And beautiful area though, really cool. But although a lot of people the second night we were there, we did spend 2 nights there. But what am I trying to say? Oh, mosquitoes were just horrendous.
That was the worst place we've been.
Oh, like we were climbing up. There's like a mile. You have to go like a mile off trail. Like first of all, Mount Whitney is like 9 miles one way off trails. Like you're doing 18 extra miles. But it's the highest point in the lower 48, so why not, right?
Yeah.
I think it's worth it. So yeah, mosquitoes were just terrible on that side trail. And when we got there, it was like, oh my god, they were just swarming so bad. And then the couple nights before, it was funny. We ran into people and they're like, "Oh, we have his shorts. We're going into town." So they went off one of the like little bit earlier passes than we did
to get pants for the mosquitoes.
And they said it was a game changer. They actually caught us again, which was surprising. Oh, in other news, we've been passing people.
Yeah.
So there's a couple reasons. Like I think we've built up strength and we're used to the heavier packs, whereas now people have the heavier, like, you know, they're adding a few pounds and that really affects them. I think you and I are both like a little bit more, like where we live in Colorado, it's super steep. So that's one of the reasons we're kind of used to that. But and like the AT kind of style where you like steeply go up and steeply go down kind of suits both of us like a little bit better than the PCT, which just kind of meanders slowly for like it'll go like there's this huge mountain. The AT would just go like straight up in like 2 miles. The PCT will do like a switchback all the way over and then like all the way back sometimes. It's kind of insane. It'd be like 8 miles, you know. So we've been passing people.
I feel like the PCT could be like 1,500 miles if they wanted it to be.
It's kind of nice though too. I mean, it's weird because like the whole reason it's like that is for pack animals.
Yeah.
But and I'm not trying to be mean to the PCTA at all, but like I don't know whether they've just lost that part of their mission or if because it was always rumored back in the day like, oh, the equestrians provide all the money because like people have a lot of money who have horses typically, and they want to fund something like the PCT because it, you know, like it's a cool concept and whatever. But I gotta say, I don't know whether they've given up on that because there are so many areas that I'm just like, there's not a chance that
a horse
oh,
would do this.
yeah, like at all. They would have to be the most hardcore horse and the most patient.
And
like
not skittish, not afraid of anything. Yeah.
And the owners have to be like the most patient people, like cutting down blowdowns and like I don't know. It's I'm not trying to be critical to them, but it's also just like I don't know. Maybe that's just a little bit less their mission. I know they do the best they can, but there's been so many sections where it's like, man, because I know there are some. I saw some like hardcore equestrian people posting on Facebook like trying to get trail conditions, and everything they asked about was like, yeah, like. There's not a chance, like unless you're, you know, like if you're
out there with a chainsaw, like cutting down.
I know they probably wouldn't like that in the wilderness areas though. Yeah. But anyway, so kind of interesting. I was also wondering. We were kind of talking about, like, I wonder what, and maybe I'll look this up after this because it reminds me of it. Is like, do people ride horses and mules and stuff on the John Muir Trail? Because that's pretty insane too. I mean, now it's completely insane with the snow, but I would think maybe in August or something they get out there with their I don't know. But our total equestrian count, I keep saying pedestrian instead of equestrian. Our total equestrian count is 2 horses.
2, yes. Yeah. And then also we saw that herd of cattle with the 3 cows.
Oh, so 5.
5.
Good. So you want to tell that story?
Yeah, we were going into Kennedy Meadows, which is like the unofficial end of the desert. It's not the end of the desert. But we were like almost there, like a few miles out, and I just look up and there's a herd of like cattle just staring at me, which is the last thing I was expecting to see, honestly. Like maybe I should have been ready for that, but I was just like, am I hallucinating? Like what's going on? And it kind of scared me because cows can be a little bit aggressive. And then this cowboy like came out on a horse and was like, "Hey, can you guys go hide behind those rocks up there?" And we were like, "Okay."
Which was so funny. He's
Yeah.
like, "Hey, can you go hide in these rocks right up there?" I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Okay." And it was like a funny thing to say.
Yeah. So then we went and hid behind the rocks and watched the herd of cattle go by. But there were like 3 cowboys herding them.
Yeah, and there's only like maybe 20 head of cattle or something like
Yeah.
that. You think, right?
It was small. Yeah.
But that was unique. You don't really have too many cattle drives like passing you.
Yeah.
And it's also funny because you're like, oh, it's unexpected. I feel like so many places in the West when you go hiking, there's lots of cattle. The PCT is kind of amazing. You really don't have that many, you know. AT you kind of do, but you're like cutting into people's like private farmland. And you're like constantly going over these stiles and stuff. Over stiles drive me wild, but constantly going over like private property. And there's also like some cows.
Yeah.
PCT surprisingly little. Continental Divide Trail has like, oh my god, there's so friggin' many. They're
Yeah.
everywhere. Like
Yeah.
some places you're like looking for a spot. Like it's hard to find a tent site without a cow pie on it.
Cool.
I've only had a couple issues with cattle. Like it's funny, some people are like, oh, they like make fun of you if you're like afraid of cattle. But I'm telling you, man, if number one, the animal weighs like over 1,000 pounds.
Yeah.
I never want to mess with an animal with its like young one, you know. So you run into like mom cows and their little calves. You don't want to mess with that, and you don't want to surprise them because like
Yeah.
they just weigh so much. Also, cows are kind of like exploratory, so you don't really want to necessarily set your tent up in the middle or super close to them because they could come over and just like, I don't think they try to trample you in this instance, but like just trample your tent like by accident because they're kind of. But then bulls can also be quite scary. I had one bull chased me one time, and that was so scary. I came upon it, and 2 bulls were like butting heads and stuff, and I was like, oh my god, dude. Like most of the time there's steers like out in the forest, but it's crazy when you run into an actual bull and it's like, dude, I don't want to anyway.
Getting killed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bulls are scary.
Yes.
Anyway, and I've talked to numerous ranchers, and then I looked it up to confirm it, and then like there's far more deaths by like cattle than there is by, everybody's scared of bears, but like I don't know. Speaking of that, we're about to enter bear country.
Mhm.
What do you think of I wanted to ask you this before we go further though. What do you think of life without Starlink versus the hike? Like how has it changed?
It's like a little bit less stressful. Like, I mean, my phone was on airplane mode for like 7 days or something, which was honestly quite nice. Like, sometimes a little bit stressful, but mostly just like, I like not having to talk to people every single day. So it was like kind of nice. There were moments where I was like, I could watch TikTok right now, but like,
Oh,
I'm
like
not going to.
like you miss the internet access?
Yeah.
What about live streaming?
Sorry. Live streaming I do miss because it is kind of a nice like decompressant at the end of the day. Like we get to recap everything and like talk about our day, but
I agree, 'cause we don't do that as much like when we're with you and I together.
yeah.
We do other stuff though, like we'll watch movies
or
or
like
play
go to
cards.
sleep, play cards, yeah, just hang out in the tent. It is kind of nice to not have the like time pressure though. Like we can take a little bit more time during the day and hike later, and we're not constrained to
Yeah.
having to be done by 6 p.m. How about being totally disconnected, no cell or anything up there? Yeah, it's like, I feel like 10% of the time I'm like, I kind of wish I could like look this up or download this music or whatever, or, like talk to my friend, but like the other 90% I'm like, oh, this is great. I love not being like having
Yeah.
internet access. Like,
It's kind of
having
nice. We
no connection.
we pretty much had 0, and then
Yeah.
now I think on this next stretch we're gonna pretty much have 0
Yeah.
internet access or cell service again, which is cool. I mean, I think like both of it. I mean, like
Yeah.
anybody, we're both pretty addicted to our phones and stuff, but you know, at least we're willing to admit it. I think most people are realistically though.
Mhm.
But it's nice. I'm not like, oh my god, I wish I had a phone right now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah. No, it takes the stress away of I don't know, like the 24-hour news cycle. Like it is nice to like have a legitimate excuse to not have to pay attention, I guess. I don't know. Like,
speaking of stress,
yeah.
what about Grumpy Bears and what about Kennedy
Oh
Meadows?
my
Dude, there's
God.
so many hikers there and so many people. And like oh man, I feel like the staff, they're nice people, but man, they're overworked and kind of
Yeah,
a little over it.
understaffed.
I feel
Yeah.
bad for them too because there's 2 businesses there that kind of compete for for the hikers. I think like they get some other business and they try to say that, but they're like, oh yeah, we get hunters and stuff, and I'm sure they do. But I would think that place, the most I would think is probably hikers,
Yeah.
like their potential. But because one place has free camping, like they both have to have free camping because they know if they start charging like $5-10 a night, like everybody will go to the free one,
Yeah.
like, because that's kind of how. And I think they're right in that, but it kind of sucks though, because like, man, that's a tough operation to run. Like you're running a free campground. Like I just saw somebody the other day. They're like, "Oh, I hurt my foot. I'm trying to get to Kennedy Meadows, so I can just camp out there for like a week," you know. And I'm like, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
I would hate to like have to have, you know, like I don't know. I feel bad because it's like I get it, like whatever. If they want to run that business, that's their own choice, I guess, and own bad, I guess, if they bought it or don't sell it. But at the same time, like, man, that's got to be tough because it's like not only are you running a restaurant, not only are you having to organize like hundreds and hundreds of packages,
Mhm.
you're also running a campground and like all the garbage and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, anyway,
I
kind of
know.
interesting. Let's see.
At least you guys have each other. Oh. Yeah. No, it's so true. It's nice to have like a built-in person to hang out with all the time.
Yeah, it has been nice to hike with the partner all the time. It's been good because we get to hang out all the time. I don't know. I don't get annoyed at you.
Yeah, same. It's nice.
It is nice.
We get to like hang out if we want to, not if we don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time during the day, even if we hike relatively close together, which we kind of have, and I think we probably will through the Sierra too, is
Yeah.
like just because like there's a little bit more like navigation and stream crossings and like stuff like that. But a lot of times we're just like chilling. We'll like not talk for long periods of time. It's not like, I mean, I know on here it's probably hard for people to believe that I can shut up, but believe it or not, I can.
It's true.
And I do. I keep itching my foot, which is bad. I need to stop. All right, I'm gonna stop. Oh, it itches. It feels so good to itch it, but
Your
no,
butt bite?
oh, it's already like.
Yeah, you should stop.
Ah.
Don't do it. But yeah, anyway, Kennedy Meadows was not my favorite place in the world.
Ah.
Like, we spent one night there.
Yeah, we were like ready to go.
I was so ready to get out of there. I don't know. I'm very introverted. Like, I don't know. I need personal space in order to recover energy, and I would not say that Grumpy Bears is the place for that at all.
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
It
Or
was
when
like-
we were there was a lot of people.
There was a lot of people. People were like, it was just like, yeah, like hikers everywhere. And I don't know, I'm trying to remember exactly like what was going on. But it was stressful. There was like 3 people working there who were running around too, and I felt bad for them.
Yeah.
They were a little bit stressed, it seemed, and then
Yeah.
like everything was really expensive,
I know.
which I guess makes sense.
And they were kind of frustrated openly a little bit that people weren't like drinking enough. Like they want people to have a rip-roaring party every night so they make more money.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like that's not as I don't know, buying $10 beers in the middle of nowhere. It's
Yeah.
fun, but it's like there's a budget and it's, I don't know, like especially just after finishing the desert, you're a little bit dehydrated and stuff.
I didn't really want to like start drinking at 10 a.m. at Grumpy Bears, you know, like, that wasn't really like what I wanted to do. But I guess I'm not
But-
one, so.
But nice people. I don't know. I always wonder, like, man, running that type of business is so tough because you're kind of trapped that, like, you can't really leave, you know? Since I'm sure those people aren't like they're not like millionaires, right? They're kind of scraping by to some degree at least. Or even if they are doing well, it's like so, like, I don't know. It's probably hard to convince people to live somewhere like Kennedy Meadows, really, because it's like you're in the middle of nowhere. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
don't know.
not. Although I was thinking that one dude, the bartender dude, like he was cool. He probably makes a killing. I think.
Like on tips and stuff.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
even if people tip bad, he's the only one there, and there was
Right.
like 60 people there, and everybody's
And
at least buying
everything's
one
expensive.
thing.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
you're spending at least $10. Yeah.
Or like I mean, like the
The
yeah.
burger was like 25 or something.
Yeah.
I paid $9 for a salad that was like iceberg lettuce and onions, which is crazy. but it's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, the
Yeah.
burger was good.
Yeah, I agree. I got a triple crown burger, which is like 3 patties, an egg, bacon, onions. What else I feel like is one of the things? Oh, it's
There's, like,
like
an
onion
onion ring.
rings
Yeah.
and avocado.
Yeah.
It was quite good though, to be honest. But it was expensive. That was worth
Yeah.
it actually. That was a good to
It
go
was
into
good.
town.
Yeah.
And
And then also I'll shut up about Grumpy Bears after this, but we had a weird experience where we had a lot of packages sent there because we got 2 food boxes because my mom could only fit it, or like had to put it in 2 separate boxes. And then I got like new shoes. Blake got his like winter gear shipped there, like
in a bear
box.
canister.
Yeah. Or bear can, yeah. And then he like ordered different or like things for his backpack or something. So we had like all these random packages that weren't necessary. I don't know. I guess more people probably just get that stuff in Kennedy Meadows or something. But we did have a lot of packages, but we were like being pointed at and laughed at. Like that we were like, we set up our stuff on a picnic table on the porch outside, and there were windows that like went into the restaurant, looked into the restaurant. There's a group of women sitting at the window just staring at us the whole time. We were trying to pack our stuff, like unbox our stuff and put it in our bags. Just like pointing and laughing. And I'm a pretty chill person. I feel like we're both pretty like go with the flow chill, but that's the closest I've ever been to like legitimately flipping someone off. Like I was just like, stop. Like that's so weird.
I wanted to go in and just talk to him and be like, what are you doing?
Did you never learn like
yeah,
staring is really rude,
so rude.
and also like what's wrong with you? Like
kind of used to people saying my backpack is huge and it's
Yeah.
whatever. Like that's just like silly kind of, and it's almost like a judge of character of like people come across so like judgy right off the bat, and it's like oh my god. But anyway, I mean, I guess it's an icebreaker in their mind or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that lady was like over the top. It was kind of funny.
It was crazy. I've never seen she was like a full grown adult. I was like, girlie, what is wrong with you?
And no. Don't mean to be not trying to say anything mean about Grumpy Bears though. Overall, it's what they do for the hiking community is amazing. Like it's so nice, but it's just funny. Like I feel again. I don't know whether maybe it is fun. Like in terms of like it's like people that have like dual seasonal lives. Like we work at a ski resort, so you kind of see a lot of that. Like you have one job in the winter and then another job in the summer, or you go travel. But like almost every year, you kind of get sick of it towards the end. I think because it does have an end point, right? So it's almost like that senioritis kicks in, or like you're just ready for it to be over. But then I'm sure when it's dead for a really long time, then you're like excited, like. I don't know. I feel like Southbounders on the AT and the PCT probably get all the love because they actually get to hang out with them, and they're like, nah, even if they are like kind of needy, it's only like 3 people a night versus like 40.
Yeah.
So you can like be nice to them and like hook them up versus like having, it's like everything is broken all the time and like, oh my god, the shower, fix the laundry, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, through hikers, for anybody out there who's watching this video researching if they should go into business for hikers, if you just love them and want to help them and are okay financially, maybe this is for you. If you're looking to make a lot of money,
maybe not.
Tough business.
Yeah.
Tough business. Anyway.
Yeah.
So
there were far too many people there for my liking, so we left.
But man, there's a cool bridge like 15 miles north of it that had all these like hundreds of these birds, like swallows that lived underneath it.
That was cool. Yeah, the swallows were very neat.
That was really cool. It did kind of transition from desert. I mean, now I would say we're not in desert at all. Like the high alpine has been pretty fantastic.
It took
transition.
Like a day and a half to get up there though.
Yeah.
From Grumpy Bears or from Kennedy Meadows, it was like another day and a half.
So from here we go to Mammoth Lakes. We're gonna be there like 4th of July, I think, or 3rd of July or something. Oh my god, I don't even know what we're gonna do. Maybe we'll just, I don't know. I was debating, I was like, should we get a hotel and reserve it now? Because as we get closer, it'll probably be way more expensive, and so we'll see. Next time we're on here, we'll tell you how it worked out, or maybe we'll just go to a campground or something. Yeah. And maybe that has a shower or something, and then like maybe somebody will let us camp in their spot if it's sold out.
I don't know.
That's either. A tricky one. Yeah, because it's a little bit off trail too, so it doesn't really walk right through it.
Yeah.
So there's that. But I don't know, like, I do miss live streaming. I had this other idea of filming the whole PCT. I actually looked up earlier today. I was like, I wonder how much a cheap camera would be, and I could do that, but way too much money. And I'm like, where even is the box that actually has my camera in it?
Yeah.
So that sucks.
Yeah.
But no big deal. So yeah, life is good. I mean, Elizabeth is going to be leaving soon to go on to a wedding and go on a trip. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I might like try to do the Tahoe Rim Trail, which is a trail like the PCT does the western part of it. I was thinking about maybe doing the rest of that or some variant on that of some sort as just to do something new. And then I don't know what we're gonna do. There's some huge burn areas like coming up. I'm not sure. We might do those. We might maybe instead of that do the Tahoe Rim Trail and then maybe kind of jump up ahead a little bit. I know I'm saying that out loud, but I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily want to walk through hundreds of miles of burned area. There's been some huge fires on the PCT, so I don't know if that would make us officially like not true full-on through hikers this year, but I don't know if I care. Like I'd rather have more fun, kind of. But it's tough to get accurate information about it too, because a lot of people are like, tough it out, it makes you feel good, or like, you know, but to be honest, we've already kind of had a very strong lesson on like how after things burn, like it doesn't grow back the same, it becomes desert, at least in Southern California, because almost the entire desert section has been burned in the last like 30-40 years or something. So there are like lovely little pockets where there's bigger trees and stuff, but like, man, it's mostly desert and then burned, like really old charred tree, tree remains. So I don't know if necessarily that lesson needs to be
I don't know,
put in at me anymore.
Yeah, like I'm getting off for a wedding. My best friend from preschool is getting married.
Nice.
We are still friends to this day. I feel like someone like called me out on that the other day because I was like, oh, it's my best friend from preschool, and they're like, you haven't talked to them since you were 4, and I was like, no, it's implied that I've known them since I was 4. Anyway, she's getting married, and then I'm going on a road trip with my best friend, and that was planned like before I decided to go on the PCT. So I'm already having to miss like probably 200 miles or something because of that, which will be in the burn scar anyway.
So anyway, we're trying to figure out exactly what our plan is going to be.
Yeah.
To be determined, but
I wouldn't be that upset to skip the 300-mile burn scar or whatever.
Yeah,
because I'm already missing a lot.
Because it seems like there's like an easy way to do it. Because the other thing we have to consider too is like Northern California, where the PCT goes, is in the middle of nowhere. So it's like, how do you even get to these random towns without spending a ton of money on shuttles or like really long, complicated hitches and stuff like that. But it'll all work out. So trying to figure out something that is a little bit more just like I don't know, that reasonable for all the way around.
Yeah.
So anyway, to be determined on that. I don't know. What else you want to talk about? Anything?
I don't know. What else have we been up to?
Life has been pretty good. I feel like, I don't know, I kind of got I don't know, I feel like I'm doing okay health-wise. We definitely have been picking up the miles. Like we've been doing 20-mile days like consecutively, which has been a challenge. Definitely feel it, but it's tough in this area because the terrain is a lot harder, but you're also way more remote, but then you also have the constraint of the bear can. So it's kind of a difficult balance. Like you kind of either carry tons of food, but you want it all to fit in the bear can, or
right, because just getting into Lone Pine, it was like we had to go on like an 8-mile side trail over a pass, which was the hardest pass we've done so far.
And then even when you get to the bottom,
it's just a random.
It's like 20 miles down the road.
So it took us forever to like get a hitch, and then we weren't even in the right town. We had to like get our box from that town and then get a bus to the next one to stay. And I was saying the other day, I was like, I can't believe I ever thought it was hard to get into town on the AT. Like,
so basically on the Appalachian Trail, it's pretty dang easy.
Like
you kind of walk close to town.
Yeah,
there's like all sorts of people waiting for you almost.
We were like scared about the 100-mile wilderness because it was going to be a 5-day food carry or something.
Yeah, whereas here that's just the norm. We're about to go 7 nights, I think is our 7 nights is our plan. So, and then again, tomorrow we have to figure out, it's like, okay, we got to get either a bus or a hitch 10 miles down the road, and then we got to get a 20-mile hitch up a hill.
Yeah.
So
It'll be interesting.
it will be interesting. There is like a bus, but the bus only would take us on the one part, not the other.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I'm sure it'll all work out, and that's fine. But then we have to hike that 8-mile trail back. But that said, it's also really awesome because we are so remote.
Yeah.
And
it's
then
really beautiful.
there are some other options like in this next section that you could do, but they're so expensive. Like you could mail a box to this place called Muir Trail Ranch, but it's like $200 or something. I'm making this up, so I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's a lovely place and a lovely experience, but it's like $200. You have to put it in a freaking 5-gallon bucket, and then mules carry it out for you, and it's only like a couple miles off trail, which is cool. Like I can see if you're just doing the John Muir Trail, which is a big accomplishment. I'm not trying to diminish that, but you want to stay on the trail. Like, I think that's the logic.
Because it's shorter, yeah.
And there's this other place called VVR, which is cool again, but it's like so expensive. I think they charge like $20 just for a one-way boat shuttle, and then $20, so you're paying $40 just to get there and back.
Yeah.
And it's only like 5 miles across the lake or something. And then, really expensive food and stuff. So we're trying to skip that just because it's a little like
out of the way and expensive.
Yeah. So anyway, but at the same time, I mean, there are cool options, and I'm sure like they are genuinely far away. I don't think they're just like jacking up their prices, because I think they really only exist like 3-4 months out of the year too. So
Yeah.
it makes sense. I mean, I'm sure that's a tough business to run, especially, I mean, Muir Trail Ranch having to bring in mules and stuff, and then that other place, I think it's like 3 hours one way, literally, to the I don't want to say post office, but maybe grocery store probably. So that's cool. I mean, I'm not trying to be down on these places, but so there's and then we I don't know, we're trying to figure out exactly how we're getting into Mammoth Lakes, and like I said, we're going to be there over 4th of July. So if anybody out there is in Mammoth Lakes and wants to host nice people, we could camp in your backyard, and you could let us use your pet toilet, and we'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Yeah. What else is? We walk every day. I don't know.
one of our best friends we met out here, Jack Builder.
Yeah.
Man, we saw him
RIP.
today. We saw him get on a bus. He's going home.
Yeah.
He's been having these ankle issues forever, though, and we were kind of worried about it. It is funny though. Today he was talking about how if you're there, Jack, I'm sorry, but he's talking about people giving him unsolicited advice, but it seems like a lot of it was like, you should just rest, dude, and he didn't. He tried, but he just kind of kept re-injuring himself. So that sucks.
Yeah.
I know how that feels, though. I mean, that's all you want to do is hike, and the only thing you can't do is freaking hike.
Mm-hmm.
So
Jack Builder's a real one, though. Shout out to Jack Builder.
yeah, he's so cool.
Yeah.
Cool guy. So anyway, we saw he got on the bus and he's off. So good luck, Jack. Maybe we'll come visit you in England sometime.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. But that sucks.
At least we got to see him before he left, though.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Oh, absolutely. That was nice. Yeah, I think he goes to England like tomorrow or something, or the next day, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks so much for joining us, everybody. Life has been good out here, though. The terrain, it's been nice to be out of the desert. It is so freaking
There's,
beautiful.
Trees and green stuff.
We've gone through 2 national parks so far,
Mhm.
Kings Canyon and Sequoia. We're going through Yosemite, not this stretch. I think we'll be in Kings Canyon, the national park, the whole time, which is absolutely beautiful. So that's awesome. So yeah, life is good out here. I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. Anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think so. I don't know. I started watching Sex and the City again, so I'm gonna do that for the rest of the night. I'm really excited.
What triggered that, by the way? You've been so excited.
Someone mentioned it in a podcast I was listening to, and I was like, I need to watch that right now.
Have you watched it before?
Yeah. I don't know.
Obvi. Yeah.
I won't tolerate the slander. It's a good show.
I'm not trying to slanderize it. It's all good.
He won't watch it with me though.
I don't necessarily want to watch Sex and the City. I don't hate it, but I don't know, dude. I'd rather watch pretty much anything else. It's not that it's terrible though.
No, I guess you're not really the demographic that would be into
I think
it.
it's primarily a female fan base.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that? I mean, I don't know. I'm not against it or anything,
I feel
but
like more men should watch it. Maybe they could learn something.
okay.
Maybe not.
I don't know, dude. I mean, I'll watch it. I'm sure I'll watch some if we. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Love everybody. Good night.
Good night. Goodbye.